All right, I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick reteach for simplifying radicals. So step number one, use a factor tree to completely break down the number to prime factors. Prime factors are like 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, etc. It's prime numbers, you can only get them multiplying whatever that number is by 1. So for example, you can only get 3 as 1 times 3 or 3 times 1. Again, break it down to prime factors. So I'm just going to number this and keep this number 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rewrite square root. This is actually called a radical symbol. So I'm going to write radical 160. I'm going to create a factor tree. I'm going to branch it off. You can choose any two numbers, but I always like to divide by 2s, 3s, and 5s. Those are my kind of my basic prime numbers. This is even, so I'm going to divide it by 2. And 2 multiplied by 80 is going to give us 160. 2 is prime, circle it. This one is not prime, so we'll break that down. And that's going to give me 2 and 40. Again, notice 2 is prime. 40 is not. That's 2 and 20. And let's see, then we're going to break down 20. And I'm just going to keep going and breaking it down by 2s. And then 10 will be 2 and 5. And notice at this point, we break it all the way down to prime numbers. Some students stopped over here when you got to 10. Please don't do that. Break it down so that all you're left with at the end of each tree are prime numbers. Now step number 2, and I'm going to switch over to green. Step number 2, it says put all the prime factors under the radical symbol and circle all the pairs. So I'm going to put my radical. And then I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2s. And then I have 1 5 all by itself. So those are under the radical. And it says circle all the pairs. So I have a pair of 2s here. I have another pair of 2s here. I can't circle the 2 or the 5 because obviously those are not the same. So those will stay underneath. And then it says each pair is written once in front of the radical. So when I come over here, let me see if I can move this a little bit. Give myself a little bit of room. So this pair right here, I'm going to cross it off and I'll write 1, 2 on the outside. And then this pair, these two 2s, will cross off and I'll put a second pair on the outside. Remember this, each pair is written once in front of the radical. So there's one pair, there's a second pair. So I've got 2 2s outside. And number 3, when possible, multiply the outside numbers together and multiply the inside numbers together. So really step number 3 is just simplifying this. So 2 times 2, that would simplify to 4 root. And then the 2 times 5 would simplify to 10. So our final answer is 4 root 10.